when there's a case that comes in that is not of accidental nature or some other nature that actually puts peril of my men and women in jeopardy, then I think that needs to be considered as part of, you know, some punishment or otherwise. It's not our intent to come in and ruin someone's life, someone's career, or anything else. But when you jeopardize the men and women of my department, then I take exception to that.
When they're called out to a scene which is intentionally set for no other reason than we submit to collect insurance funds, that is a serious thing that cannot be overlooked.
And important. And the idea that this court has now declared him a felon in the court to the community is a punishment when you're a man like Tommy McFarling. And to be required to prove yourself, to re-earn the public's trust and respect, is a punishment.
And, you know, you can fake a lot of stuff, but it's pretty hard to fake character. It's pretty hard to fake, you know, compassion, love for your fellow man, and joyfulness in doing your job. It's really hard to fake that. And Tommy's exhibited all those, great track record, just a really, really generous person among his coworkers. He's a model employee. I don't even know any other way to put it.
A few months ago, there was a child that went missing in our neighborhood. And Tommy, it was freezing cold out, and he's walking around with a flashlight through the woods looking for this little boy. And him and Tanya were the only ones out of our neighborhood to do that. And I found that amazing in a person.
You know, last night when I was laying in bed alone, I felt alone. And I look across that room and I see how many people love him, that they love him too. You know, I can't make it financially without him. My girls can't make it financially without him. I have lived every day since March the 15th with him. And trust me, he's been in prison. I've laid there and held him when he's cried that he couldn't protect us, that he couldn't get our dogs out of the house, that he couldn't protect all the kids' things that I've been saving since they were born. Your Honor, I need him at home. He's a good man. He's a good husband. He's a great father. He's been there for his children. He has one in college that we're putting through college, helping put through college. He has a son who's needed help. He's gotten him a job. And just anytime somebody calls him for anything, he's there. And he puts us, if we have something planned, he may put that aside to go help somebody else. But he's a good man, he's a good husband, he's an exceptional worker, he's a hard worker, he's a provider, and I can't do it without him.
Thank you, Ms. McFarling. The Tommy McFarling that these people know is very different from the Tommy McFarling who these people met in the course of this case. And I am very conscious and have always been particularly sensitive to the delay in justice. I'm a strong believer that the sooner we address a crime and we hear the evidence, the jury makes a decision, and I make a decision, the closer to justice we get. So as I struggle with what is an appropriate sentence in this case, I must balance The guy who's lived 50 years with no trouble before, who by all accounts goes to work every day, does all the extra stuff, you know, who's raising a family and who can, on, 12 hours notice, pack my courtroom with people who are willing to stand up and say that they believe in you. Balance all of that. And it comes amidst a horrible tragedy in Macon, and a stark reminder for all of us that the risk we sort of take for granted. You have a fire, you call, somebody comes and deals with it, and it's not you. And aren't we grateful when there are people who are running into the buildings who are running out of? And, I'm very conscious of the fact that this is coming at the same time. And I do think it is appropriate to consider that risk in evaluating crime and what is appropriate sentence. I do not think it is appropriate to make an emotional decision based on what is the balance here. I think very seldom is our entire life defined by a single incident. I hope not. Pretty high burden for all of us. But there are consequences. And the law applies equally to everybody. And there have to be consequences when there's a conviction in a case like this.